guys, it's Christina from Redefine Creative, and I am back with another 15-minute layout for you. So I do have my video going at double speed, so we are right at the 15-minute mark. And so I'm going to share with you 3 new strategies this week that I use to help create layouts when I have a short amount of time. And so what you see me doing right here is I have 3 photos already printed, ready to go, and I am using some pre-cut white cardstock to back them with. And so that's one of my tips to you. All of the big box stores, you can pick up these packages of white and black cardstock that's already pre-cut matte sizes for photos. And that is a major time saver for me. So I'm not cutting into a piece of cardstock every time I need to matte a photo. I have a stack on my desk. The packages, I always pick them up when they're half off. So they run me about $2 for I think like 100 sheets. And so that is a major time saver. So I always have those sitting on my desk. So that's one of my number 1 hints for you to kind of save time and to save supplies is to have these pre-cut mats for your photos. And that definitely makes a big difference. The other thing that I am doing today is I am using a go-to design. So something that is a layout design that I will often turn to when I want to create in a hurry or I want to use a certain set of supplies. It's a design that I use often. It always looks good and it always looks a little bit different. And so this is one of my go-to designs where I'm working with this center element down the middle of my page. So I have a 12 by 12 pattern paper background, and that is from Confetti Wishes collection from Pink Paislee, which is a birthday collection, but I'm not using it as a birthday collection because it has some really great tropical elements in it as well. And so I have 3 pool pictures of my daughter, and she's in these really adorable confetti sunglasses that she absolutely loves. And so I'm going to use that Confetti Wishes as my title for the page. And another kind of your third tip for the week is to create within a collection. So I keep most of my collections in like big 12 by 12 size plastic bags until I have used them or played with them as is or mixed them into like a stash kit. So to begin with, all of my collections are kind of together. And so just pulling one of those bags and using just that collection to create is a really big time-saving tip. So that's kind of your third one for this week, is creating within the collection. And so using part of my organization, keeping my kit supplies or my collection supplies together really is a huge time saver. So it allows me to go through and easily find things that coordinate. And so I have my 3 pattern paper layers that I've kind of done in the background. So my confetti in the very back, and then I did some of that green diagonal paper you saw me add around my center element. And then I'm going to have 2 embellishment clusters, one in the top left and one in the bottom right of my photos. And then I'm going to have a huge title element down in that bottom portion of my layout. And that's kind of my third embellishment area. So if you're working with the rule of 3s, and you could embellish that title a little bit more if you wanted to. I'm not going to because I'm keeping this down to a 15-minute layout. But if you wanted to, you could absolutely add some additional embellishing. You could add some hand stitching. Those types of things are definitely a possibility. So I'm going to layer my photos together. So I've got my 4x6 photo across the top and my 2 3x4s directly underneath. And then I'm leaving that bottom for my title and my journaling. So for this particular layout, my title is going to take up all of that space. But if I had a smaller title or if I wanted a space for journaling, I could absolutely include that as well. And then I'm just going to start layering up my ephemera. So I've got this frame that I've cut in half to make sure that it is duplicated into both clusters. And then you're going to see me add elements that are the same to each cluster. So this takes some of the guesswork out of building my embellishment clusters. So I have the end of a ticket, and that's going to go into each one. And then I'm going to have a little topper of a tag, and one of those is going to go into each cluster. So it's a lot faster process of putting these clusters together when I'm repeating elements into each one. Then I'm going to take one of these palm fronds, and one of those is going to go in each one of the clusters. And because they're the biggest and I want them on the bottom, it does give me a little bit of a challenge to get everything layered up here together. And you'll see that in the top cluster because I didn't cut this part out of the video. So you get to see me like mess with all of my different little layers here so that I get them layered the way that I want them. And that's okay. It's totally good for you guys to see me have to pull my embellishments apart and re-stick them down. because this is really my creative process, and how I create is definitely pulling stuff up, putting it back, moving stuff around, doing all those types of things. So then I went ahead and grabbed some dimensional adhesive because I want to use this little postage stamp that says Party Animal. And I'm going to overlap that to my embellishment cluster over that top photo. So now I need something that looks the same for my bottom cluster. So I'm looking for a piece that I can pop up or have dimensional over the edge of my photo, and something that has some text, because the one on the top has some text. So I went to the chipboard first and there was nothing there. But then I went to the sticker sheet and there's a sticker that mimics that same type of design, and it just says Celebrate. And so I backed that with some white cardstock so that I could put that on some dimensional adhesive, so that I'm getting that same look. So the white box with the text and the images. Then I'm going to go ahead and work on getting my title across the bottom. And I do want it to just say Confetti Wishes, and I've already kind of pulled that out. I know it's going to fit in my space. I just kind of have to move and wiggle my thickers around to make sure that I'm getting them exactly where I want them to go. And I really do like this collection, not necessarily as a birthday collection. I bought it more to work with some of the tropical elements that were in it because my daughter really loves these color combinations. And so it's definitely a collection that would not have to be a birthday collection. It could be anything you want it to kind of work for, especially any summer layouts or beach photos or tropical, anything like that. Then I went ahead and grabbed the puffy stickers that went along with this collection, and I'm just going to add one of these little tropical flower puffy stickers into each of my embellishment clusters. And I'm looking at this point about what finishing detail I might need to add to my two clusters. And so the one thing that is different is I have this gold, these gold puffy thickers down on the bottom, and I feel like that gold element needs to be carried out a little more throughout the layout. So I'm going to use a bunch of these little confetti dots that came on the thicker sheet, and I'm just going to add 3 into each cluster, just like I would with enamel dots. So I'm using them in the same sort of context or the same idea as what I would use enamel dots or sequins, and that's going to do it. So right at the 15 minutes, you have 3 new tips this week. So creating within a collection rather than trying to mix and match products makes the process a little bit faster. Having a go-to design that you can turn to when you are short on ideas or wanting to create in a hurry, and then using those pre-cut mats to mat your photos. And I will be back to see you again with another layout soon. Bye!